We'll start off with the quality of the 4K shooting at good old 24 frames first. Like the A7 IV, the A7C Mark II is 7K oversampling in full frame mode, which means you get sharper 4K videos because it's technically shooting in 7K, but it's jammed up in a 4K box. However, the A7CR is not like that. You're just getting pure 4K in full frame mode. But in APS-C mode, you're getting 6.2K oversampling. Same concept, it's shooting 6.2K, but it's jammed up in a 4K box. In the grand scheme of things, 4K looking like 4K is just fine. I just want to point out the technicalities. But my issue here is the different crop factors when you're filming in 4K 60. It gets confusing here, so bear with me. Now, I can't say I'm surprised by the crop factor because these two cameras here are modeled off their bigger A7 counterparts. Like the A7 IV, the A7C Mark II can shoot up to 4K 60p, but only in APS-C Super 35 mode, which is a 1.5 times crop. Like the A7R5, the A7CR can shoot 4K 60p in full frame mode, but with a 1.2 times crop. Now 1.2 is less than 1.5, but it's still a noticeable crop. And you cannot utilize 4K 60p in APS-C mode with the A7CR. Okay, glasses is coming off because it's serious. Let's break it down one by one. Starting off with the A7C Mark II. Let's say, for example, I'm using a 24-70 f2.8 full frame lens. I'm filming in 4K 24 in full frame mode, having a good time, and now I want to switch to 4K 60p for some epic slow motion videos. And my field of view is now tighter. This just became a 35 to 105 millimeter lens.
Huh?
Now, I would argue slow motion looks amazing with a tighter framing, but it's the tighter wide end that makes it frustrating. Sony just released the 16-35 G Master 2, which we have been testing in conjunction to this review. Now imagine this. Imagine you can't even shoot 4K 60p at 16mm because of the forced crop factor. It's now 24mm on the widest end. In my review of the A7 IV, I have never agreed with this crop. I was told it was a technical limitation, but we bought a full frame camera, so it doesn't make any sense to me that we can't even shoot 4K 60p in full frame mode. So after I made my setup guide for this camera, I stopped using it for almost a year. But I decided to pick it up again earlier this year because ironically, it actually makes a great APS-C camera. We've used the Sigma 18-50mm with it, which is an APS-C lens, and it's great. Flip-flop back and forth, 4K 24 and 4K 60p. It's consistent. The framing is consistent. And if we want to have a wider view, we would just need to use an ultra-wide angle APS-C lens. Now that's the great thing about using APS-C lenses on full frame bodies when shooting in 4K. There is no quality loss. And this same concept of using APS-C lenses could have been applied to the A7C Mark II, and this would have been a great APS-C video camera as well. But now, as of late 2023, it can't even be a best APS-C video camera anymore because a proper APS-C camera actually came out. The Sony a6700, which also gets you 4K 120 frames per second for 1400 buckaroos. So it's a huge letdown in my opinion not to be able to film 4K 60p with its full frame sensor. It is a little disappointing. Moving on to the A7CR. So for 4K 60, it does have a 1.2 times crop for technical reasons. It's noticeable, but it's not a huge penalty like the 1.5 times crop, and I can forgive that, but you can't shoot 4K 60p in APS-C mode. I know, I just spent the last few minutes complaining about the A7C2 and 4K 60p forcing us into APS-C mode, so why the hell would I even want that as an option for the A7CR? Hear me out here, okay? First off, let me clarify, it's not a big deal that it does not have 4K 60 in APS-C mode. But what I've always enjoyed about the A7R series is that flexibility of bouncing back and forth between full frame and APS-C freely. I'm a hybrid shooter who often uses APS-C on full frame bodies, so I'm also hybrid in that sense because I get those generous 20-ish megapixels for photos and I can keep the same lens on to shoot 4K 60p videos. So, do you see why I said my brain hurts at the beginning? It's these odd technical limitations when it comes to wanting to shoot 4K 60p. And for this reason alone is why I don't love the A7C series. I just really like it. I love the full frame compact look. I love the 7-step IBIS. I love the electronic viewfinder. I love the new updated menu. I love the extra custom buttons, the AI autofocus, the new codec, the new bitrate, the S-Cinetone, and all that good jazz. It's just a 4K 60p, man. That 4K 60p, it was just so damn close. So for now, I will stick to my Sony ZV-E1.